Hello.
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 Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Chaitanya.
Hi. Who's this? Neelu?
No, I'm uh, Subbu.
Subbu. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Are you from the US now?
Correct. Correct.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one more person who is supposed to come. I don't know. So, all right. I hope you can see me. Am I
Yes,
audible?
I can see you.
What about Chinchi and there is one other person in the name Neelu. Is that Srinivas? Hello. Hello.
Oh, you are not expecting by name Neelu?
Yeah, who? I'm not sure who that is.
Okay. Don't know. Me too.
All right, okay. Then that's the person. See, the person whom I was expecting was one Mr. Vipin, and I don't know if that's him.
I see.
All right. So just give me a second. I'll have to share my screen. What's the time there, sir?
It is 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Very good morning.
Thank you. Good evening.
So you have a very good day today. Is it? It's Saturday morning, right?
Saturday morning. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the West Coast, so it is like a PST time zone.
Uh-huh.
For East Coast, it is like 10 a.m.
10 a.m. All right. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, I got it. I'm sorry, Vipin. Hello, Subbu. May I call you Subbu?
Yeah, you can call me. Yeah.
Okay. Subbu, I hope that other people are also able to hear me and see me and see the screen as well.
Let's see. They're on mute.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. All right. Cool. Yes. Oh, was that Srinivas or Shinji?
Yeah, I'm Srinivas, sir.
All right. Cool. So I hope everybody is listening and everybody can see the screen as well. So here, IELTS. What is your idea about IELTS, Srinivas? Could you please tell me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mean yes, you mean
Whatever you know about IELTS.
it is English. I mean English fluency test for to study in abroad.
Hmm. Do you know what are the different sections in an IELTS exam?
Yes, basically it consists of 4 sections, 4 modules. Yeah, listening, reading, writing, and speaking.
Right. So, have you taken any demo test or mock test online, or have you talked to someone who has already taken the exam before?
Yes, sir. I already took exam and I got 6 bands.
Oh, really? Oh, you did that before.
Yes, sir.
Nice. When was that?
I March 5th.
This year?
Yeah, yes, sir. Few months back.
4 months ago. Okay, so what is your expectation? How much is the required score for you to go abroad?
Yeah. I want 7 bands, sir. I'm
7 band. And do you prepare 7 for each module or overall 7?
yeah. In each model, at least a 6.5 and overall 7.
All right. So, as you know, we have 4 sections in IELTS, and today we are going to look at listening particularly, right? What are the types of questions they might ask in listening, and how many questions would be there, and what are the tips or the points to remember when you attend a listening task, right? That's what we are going to see today, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, these are the 2 skills tested in IELTS listening: receptive and productive skills. So,
Vishnu, before start,
yeah,
let us ask them if they are logged in the cell phone or through a laptop.
all right, yeah.
Guys, can you answer?
Srinivas and Chenji, how have you logged in? Did you log in on your phone or laptop?
Log into cell phone.
Cell phone. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear
Yes, sir. It is clear.
for both of you?
Renu is out, I think. Yeah.
And for Vipin, I'm assuming that you can see well because I can. Yeah, your video is pretty clear here, so I hope you can assume. Yes. So, Subbu, I think they can see it, but I don't know why they are not
Uh,
replying.
yeah, Srini is, I think he logged out. Maybe he will be joining through cell phone or joining through laptop.
Laptop, yeah, that would be good. If you have laptop,
Yeah.
I suggest laptop.
They both have laptops.
All right, that's nice. So I'll just wait for a second, and I have one
Thank
document.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Vipin, could you please give me a WhatsApp number, Vipin? You can just type it in or send me as a message. Chenji, I think you have received an audio file on the WhatsApp. Did you get it?
Yes, sir. I got. We got
Yeah.
it.
So you don't have to listen to that now. We will be using that on the go while we proceed with the presentation, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to reach him, Vishnu.
Yeah, sure. There might be some network issues. Or...
Could be, but they have internet. I don't know why. I mean, he taken a separate house for their study.
Oh, okay. Let's wait for 5 more minutes, sir. And
Yeah.
if not possible, this is just a demo class. I can give it to them once again if they want.
Sure.
This is actually a class given to all the candidates who come and join the class just to decide and make up their mind to whether continue the class or not. Yes, he has come already. Yes, he's here. I think he has joined. Hello, Srinivas.
Oh, he lost the internet, the broadband, and he's trying to log in.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think we see him. Yeah.
Yeah, he has already joined. I admitted him to the meeting, but I'm not sure whether he can hear me or not. I'm just asking him, he's not replying. Believing that he can see and listen to us, let's continue. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah. Srinu, confirm if you can listen and see the screen. You are on mute.
Yes. I've asked him to unmute.
Yeah, I can hear now.
All right, Srini, thank you so much.
Can you see the screen?
Are you able to see the presentation? Can you
Yes,
see the
I
screen?
can see.
All right, cool. Yeah, so all good. So we'll.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. We can
Yes,
mute
sir.
now and we'll go ahead with the presentation. All right. So in IELTS, regardless whether it is an academic or general version of IELTS, in listening, these are the these are the 4 skills tested in an IELTS, exam. So listening, reading, writing, and speaking is broadly divided into receptive skills and productive skills. From the very name, we can understand what could be a receptive skill and what could be a productive skill, right? So whatever we receive, in case of IELTS exam, we receive an information via recording or audio, and we also receive an information by reading. So listening and reading are the two receptive skills. And how do we produce that something? Like what could be a productive skill in terms of a language? Can anybody say? Chenji?
Sir,
What could be a productive skill in terms of a language? How can we produce something in a language?
I don't.
See, how do you produce an information? To receive an information, we have to listen to something or read a document or an article or whatever for that matter. To read something, right? Are you able to follow me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So how do you receive things? How do you receive an information?
We get information from other person.
Other person. So you have to listen to the other person, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So by listening, we get information. And any other way? So by reading also we get information. We read
And
newspapers every day and to get information, right?
yes.
So by listening and reading, we receive information, and by writing and speaking, we produce information. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one thing that should be noted
Yes,
in
sir.
this, yeah. So one thing to be noted here is that whenever we receive or produce information, it should be simple enough to understand for anybody who is getting that information. For example, if you're producing something we're writing, whoever reads that should be able to understand it clearly without confusion. You got it? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, all right. So in case of in while listening also, while reading also, the matter or the article that you read should be simple enough or clear enough to provide you the information. Then only you'll be able to receive the information, isn't it? So it should be same when you write or speak. That's a key for IELTS exam, right? Which basically means we'll be dealing with that in when we talk about writing in the coming classes. But I'm just giving an information, just a a peripheral information, saying that whatever we write in IELTS, it should be very clear, and there should not be any confusing style of writing. Some people write a lot of points to talk about a particular topic. You don't have to do that. You can just pick one or two points connected to a topic and start writing it and elaborate it in the coming paragraphs. It's very simple. And it will be very easy for the reader to understand, okay, this person has tried to point out 2 points with regard to the particular topic. That's how we write in IELTS. So coming back to listening, the total duration of listening test is 40 minutes, and the number of questions asked is also 40, right? In case of listening, they're going to play an audio for 30 minutes. So there comes the question of what is that remaining 10 minutes for? I already told the complete listening test is for 40 minutes, and you have the audio which is going to be played for 30 minutes, right? So there is another 10 minutes remaining. So this 10 minutes is for transferring your answers from a question booklet to answer booklet, which basically means in case of listening, you will be first writing the answers in the question booklet. You have 10 minutes at the end of the audio recording to transfer your answers from the question booklet to answer sheet. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, if it is clear, you can just do one thing. You can either raise hand. Do you have an option to raise hand?
Yes, sir, I have.
All right. So yes. So if it's clear, just raise your hand. That'll be easy for me to understand, right? Yeah. You can do it physically by raising your hand, or you can have an option there to raise your hand near your screen, I think. Yeah. Either way. Either way. All right. So did you understand that? Is everything clear until now?
Yeah, actually, what is the same G AZ?
Yeah, coming to that. So GN is
Yeah, okay.
it's actually
Sorry.
GT. It should be GT. It's my bad. It's not GN. It's GT. So GT means general training, and AZ means academic. So IELTS has two versions. One for general training, which is written by people who are trying to migrate to some other countries. And academic is for people who are planning to study in a native English-speaking country. And in some countries like the UK, even consider academic for their job visa as well. So it depends upon what type of test you want to do. That depends upon the purpose of your visit. If you're planning to migrate, then most probably you'll have to write general train (GT) and academic for the students. So the basic difference between the two, for listening, there is no difference. For listening module, it's the same for general training as well as academic. The main difference comes in writing and reading. Because for general training, you have a letter to write, whereas for academic students, for academic people in IELTS, they'll have to write an infographic report. For example, they'll be giving you a bar chart or a pie chart, giving a lot of information included in that one diagram, and you have to write a report based on that. That's what they're going to ask in academic version of IELTS. Whereas in general training, you just have to write a letter. It could be formal, semi-formal, or informal. That's a basic difference. Is it clear? Am I going too fast?
No. It's cool.
All right. Yeah. So, thank you. So, coming back in listening, there are 4 parts. Earlier, if you go online and see the materials available online until Cambridge 13 or 14 volume, they used to write section 1, section 2, and section 3, and section 4. So they changed that term section 1 into part 1 from 2020. That sounds pretty odd because I didn't feel it as a change at all, because section and part is almost the same thing. There is no much change in the meaning, but they consider that as a change. So from now on, in the IELTS listening test, you won't see section 1, section 2. Instead of that, they'll be using the word part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Right? So these parts are arranged in the order of difficulty, which basically means the first part will be easier when compared to the other 3, and the fourth one will be much difficult. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you here by saying that it is too difficult, but when you compare it with the first one, it would be difficult. Because in part 4, you have uh, a very professional language used in the recording. Sometimes it could be technical as well. So they might use technical jargons or professional jargons, which might confuse you, right? So let's move on to the next slide. All right. So in part 1, this is an audio in which there will mostly be 2 speakers. And the audio recording will be, or the dialogue will be uh, based on a social context. For example, a telephonic conversation between a customer and a hotel receptionist about booking a room. Right? So sometimes a person who is planning to move, visit a city, could call a hotel in that city and try to book a room. So the receptionist might ask some basic details like the name of the person, the date of visit, how many people are accompanying, and the customer might ask them in return, like what is the prices, what are the facilities provided. So all these things could be the matter of discussion on this, in part one, right? In part one, mostly they are going to ask a form filling type of question, which we'll be looking at in the coming slides. So let's see what could be a part two. In part two, there is only one speaker, which is a monologue. And again, the context of recording or the context of this conversation, it's not a conversation, the recording will be social in context. For example, a tour guide explaining about a historic building or describing a map of the place. So this is one person talking to a group of people. Right? So here again, the context is social in nature. A tour guide explaining about a historic building. So you might be asked to fill in the names of places he mentioned or the peculiarities of the places. What are the places they're going to visit, and what is there any, for example, take the case of a museum. So what are the attractions in the museum? Is there any particular opening time or closing time? And then what are the rules and regulations you should follow inside the museum? Is there any entry ticket? So all these things are there in such a conversation. And in case of a map, while explaining a map, we should be very careful because you should always be attentive when someone is going to, I mean, you should be attentive also while listening, but especially in case of a map, because if you lose the first part, you might end up losing the complete map because they might tell you this is the starting point. So when you don't listen to the starting point, then you might lose track of everything that's going to follow. So please make a note of that. And in part three, you have 3 to 4 speakers in part three, which might be confusing for some people because these 4 speakers might have 4 variety of accents. So it's quite difficult to understand who is saying what. So this is a little bit different from the other two. It's academic in context. For example, a group of students discussing about a project work as part of their university studies. Chenji and Srini, you guys are going to do this in the university when you go to the US, because you might have a group of students and you'll have to talk in group about the project or assignment that you want to submit, right? So this kind of thing, this kind of conversation is going to come in part three, and yeah, so they might be discussing about, what did the professor tell in the class? Did we discuss this topic or no? This was not the topic we discussed. I think that's for the next semester. These kind of conversations might happen in such a recording, right? So you should be very careful who is saying what. And they'll definitely give names of speakers as well. They'll be saying, "Hi, hi Roy. Are you coming down to discuss this project?" They'll be addressing with names. So it's not very difficult, but confusing. In part 4, it's again a monologue, which is academic in nature. As I told you, it could be a lecturer explaining a topic or a scientist describing his invention or study. So here again, the technical knowledge of the technical words or jargons might be used. So you have to be careful. Now we are going to see the types of questions they are going to they might ask in. Oh my God, are you? Is it disturbing? There is some other noises coming. All right, cool.
No.
There is one of my neighbors using a mixer grinder there, so I thought this is going to disturb you. All right, so these are the types of questions. A form, sentence. Let me tell you something. This I got a notification that this might end in a few minutes. So don't worry, I'll be connecting to you within a few minutes if it ends.
I think it's already disconnected.
So disconnected?
Yeah, that's my PC was disconnected. I'm using my mobile phone.
All right. So no, I'm talking about the entire presentation, entire meeting.
Okay.
Might
Okay.
end because I'm using a free version of Zoom, so I don't think
Okay.
they're gonna give me a lot of time.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'll have to. There is nothing much to do. I just have to connect with you again. So please don't worry about
Okay.
that. Yeah. So these are some types of questions they're going to ask in a listening task. So form or sentence or summary completion. As we discussed, in case of part one, they're most probably going to ask you form completion, where in a form, we'll see the examples. You just have a look at these names or the note or chart of table completion, then diagrams, flow chart, map labeling, as we discussed in part three, right? Sorry, part two, when a tour guide is explaining a map and multiple choices, matching. These are the variety of questions they might ask him listening. Subbu and Chenji, I'm sorry, Chenji and Srini, I hope you guys are listening and, oh, did I lose Srini? No. Okay. Am I going too fast, Chenji?
No, sir.
All right. Is it clear? Are you
Yes,
following me? Yeah. All
yes,
right.
sir. I am for.
All right. Thank you. So let's move to the next slide. These are some examples. You can see this is how a summary completion is going to be, right? Government plans to give dash to assist the farmers. This money was to be spent on improving Sydney's dash. So this is a summary about a recording that you already heard. So it's a simultaneous process of listening and writing. You have to listen and write at the same time. I hope you had an experience of doing it while you did the assessment test. Isn't it? Did you? I hope Vipin, you did the assessment test. I think. No.
Yes.
Yes,
You're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. So this is the form. I'm sorry. This is a form.
Venu, do you want me to start a session? I have a Zoom meeting, and I sent you the meeting ID passcode if you want to join in another.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You did do that on WhatsApp?
I did in this group
In this
so
group?
that Vipin also can get that information.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. So let's disconnect this and then join back with the other one. Is that fine with you?
Yeah. Always good.
All right, I'm going to start that one.
Thank you.